Welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to take a look at Construction Time again. This is what the UK album looked like. You had the sickle on a broken frame. This one's got the hammer on. Make of that what you will. This is another photo by Brian Griffin. And I'm just making sure I didn't say Peter Griffin. And there's the Matterhorn there. So quite an iconic cover. The tracks are Loving Itself, which was a single. More Than a Party, Pipeline, Everything Counts, which was the big single, 2 Minute Warning, Shame, The Landscape is Changing, Told You So, and Then. Inside we have inner sleeve with the lyrics on and some chalk drawings, and the labels are relatively simple. In France, the album looked like this. We had the Mute logo and the Vogue logo down the bottom corner there, which wasn't on the UK one. Distribution Vogue PIP on the back in the middle there, and the Gravier Press en France, pressed in France, I guess. And let's look inside. Insert is the same. And the record is a very plain looking white text, black label, with the SACM box on there and the VG box there. In Germany, 1983, they were treated to this Super Poster Digital and DNM Super Sound. It's got the DMM logo on there, the in number 146807, top corner. The disc is the typical pale blue with the Walking Man logo across the top and the DMM logo. And then the inner sleeve is very similar, but there's no yellow text on here. It's got, for some reason, got a white band at the bottom. And what was special about this is you also got a poster. So let's have a look. Pretty big poster, actually, to be fair. Beauty. So that's pretty cool. Then this one's from Italy. The only way you can tell really is this weird light bulb logo there and the catalogue number MUT20377 in the bottom left corner of the back there. The insert very similar with the yellow text on here. And then a kind of voucher. I think it's like a little kind of dollar coin that you could take in December 1983. Yeah, I'll try and explain that down the bottom if I can find something about why that's on here. And then there's the label. It's like a sort of cream label, if they're light blue, compared to the German one. It's got a funny little P sticker. I don't know whether that actually was there as part of the original release or that's been put on by the seller. The important thing, it's got this like bootleg sort of stamp, an official red stamp that you find on all Italian record labels. And then, according to Discogs, also from 1983, is the Japanese release with the typical obi strip down the side, and on the back of the obi strip are adverts for a Broken Frame, 2 Yazoo albums, and a Chicago album. I don't know why I'm laughing so much at that. Inside, let's have a look. You would typically expect to find inside English language sheet. This is just a sheet of paper, it's not the inner sleeve, and neither is this, and this is just one side, Japanese text. Don't think that's a lyric, and that's just an essay by somebody Japanese, so no lyrics. And then they were distributed by Sire Records, so it's a bit of an American looking label in actual fact. Inside, And then here's one from 1984 from a country that no longer exists, Yugoslavia. All the covers are the same. It's the back cover that gives it away. You've got an RTVL logo down the bottom here. The printing is not as good quality on this as the others so far. The label is really out there. Very distinctive RTVL label there. That's nice. And then the inner sleeve is pretty much identical to the UK inner sleeve, apart from it's got the RTVL logo down the bottom there. And then also from 1984, and this is my newest addition to my copies of Construction Time Again, is Argentina promo. So it's got this black board around it, and it's got a Spanish subtitle, Tempo de Construir otra vez. Yeah, I can't pronounce Spanish, so do forgive me. And then, quite uniquely in my collection so far, all the song titles are also in Spanish. And then you've got an RCA Victor logo with the actual what became the HMV logo with the dog's called Nippy. You can correct me in the comments if I've got that wrong. Yeah, so, and then there's no lyric sheet in this. The label itself is quite busy, let's say. With the colour one, His Master's Voice logo that was on Victor Records originally, and then became the HMV logo. And then it says across where it says RCA at the top, Diffusion Verta Prohibida. So basically, diffusion is prohibited, broadcast is prohibited, basically indicating that it's a promo. And then in a similar vein, I have got a reissue from Spain, 1986, on Sani Records. Again, it's got the title in Spanish, which is typical of the Spanish records that we've seen before in other videos. And it's got the Sani logo at the top there, so giveaway. And then inside, I am not sure if there is supposed to be a lyric insert or not, but this came with a replacement paper sleeve, so I'll take it. And it's quite a boring label actually, white label with black text on, almost like Scandinavian looking. So all those records are almost 40 years old, and then we're getting into more modern times. So here's a nice 1/8 gram reissue from 2014, US and Canada release. Nice shiny cover, distinctive reprise, sire, mute, rhino logos down the bottom, and it's a gatefold. All the reissues are gatefold, aren't they? It's got some people are people photography there, and an essay by Daniel Miller, and then the insert is a pretty fair version of the original insert. It's a bit glossy. And the labels, again, looks like the original release as well, but with all the 4 logos on. And kind of side by side by that, and near identical, and probably from the same mastering, a US release from 2021. Even glossier, shiny, 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 and sounds super. But I listened to the Italian 1984, or was it 1983 release recently, and that sounded great as well after clean. So it's just such a good, well produced album. And then it's exactly the same as the last one we just looked at inside, and so is the insert as well. This is actually got a kind of nice satin feel to it rather than gloss, which is unusual. The label exactly the same as the other one, although it says copyright 2007 on both. This text down at the bottom here is slightly different between the two versions. Woohoo! So those were my copies of Construction Time Again on vinyl. Next video is going to be a more general collection video, all the odds and sods that I've got in over the past few months that I haven't talked about because I've been concentrating on talking about the albums in my collection. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in next time for more Depeche Mode. Cheers.